YouTube, what's happening? It's Richard, founder of Short-Term Rental University and Airbnb Superhost. Today's video might have some controversy, or you're certainly entitled to your own opinion. I'd love to hear it. But this is about why this guy likes to keep his Airbnb business running at less than 100% occupancy. Before we get into it, I like to keep my businesses running at about 70 to 75% occupancy. For me, I consider that 100%. Anything above that is a bonus, but it also means that there might be some profit that I left on the table. I'll talk about that in a second. The way that I do this is by increasing my prices so that I'm not the lowest cost provider, because for instance, if I had $1 a night, I'd be at 100% occupancy, right? We all would. So I don't want to do that. I keep raising my prices until I get to a point where I'm making the most profit and at about 75% occupancy. The way that I personally do it is I use dynamic pricing. I prefer Beyond Pricing. We'll include the affiliate link below. If you haven't tried it, go ahead and click on that link. Interest of full disclosure, we do get a little bit of a commission. It helps support and offset some of our costs. We really appreciate it. So if you do it or you want to try it, it's a great way to go. But that's just my personal preference. I do it not for the affiliate link or the commission. I do it because it really helps me grow my business. And now I'm going to get into the specifics. The very first reason I like to keep my occupancy rate lower is that there's less wear and tear on my home. 100% occupancy by a full house is a lot of wear and tear on your home. By keeping the number lower, I reduce the amount of wear and tear. My septic system, the plumbing, the refrigerator, the electric, the carpets, you name it, I'm running at about 3/4 of the wear and tear versus at 100% occupancy. It's more profitable. By increasing your rates to a point where you're at 75% occupancy, you're actually going to be making more money with less wear and tear. If you get to 100% occupancy, that tells you that you're leaving money on the table by charging too little. So if your goal, if you change your mindset and say, I don't want to optimize for max occupancy like 100%. Instead, I want to optimize for max profit. You'll never get to 100% because you're raising your prices so that you have the most profit, and you'll never get to 100%. The third reason is really from an operational perspective. It's much easier to maintain and fix and repair and improve my home. If I have a couple of days between guests or even an empty week, that's the time that I'm going to have everything fixed, repaired, delivered, installed, etc. So I'm actually delivering a better guest experience by building in a little bit of slack. And the final point I want to make, and this one's a really big one for me personally, and if you're not thinking about it this way, I encourage you to try it. It's a better fit. So what I mean by that is if I was optimizing for 100% occupancy, doesn't matter who wants to come stay at my house as long as they're willing to pay. That could be the wrong guest experience. That could create a lot of headaches and hassles for me. But if I'm really selective and I only want people that are willing to pay my price, I can pick and choose and say, you know, party, sweet 16, prom, event, not a good fit. I'm willing to turn that down because what I'm really looking for, again, in my case, is families. I want families that want to come and visit and respect my home and so on. And if I get out of the 100% occupancy mind frame, I can turn down those requests. Little caveat, try and get them to reject it instead of you turning it down. But I don't have to honor that request, and instead I can look for the better fit. The better fit means I'm going to have a better hosting experience. Chances are they're going to have a better guest experience, and that results in a better review and a better status for me on Airbnb. And so what's the result? Sustainability. I want to remind everybody watching this video that real estate is a long-term strategy. It is not a get-rich-quick strategy. So it doesn't matter how much money you make on Airbnb in a month or a year. For me, as an owner of these properties, I want to own this and do Airbnb for 5, 10, 15, 30 years. So if I have some slack and better guests and more profit and time to do wear and tear, maintenance, repairs, etc., it's more sustainable and I'm much more likely to reach my goal. Think of it as a marathon. I couldn't sprint for 26 miles, but I could pace myself for 26 miles and finish the marathon, and that's what we're talking about. I hope you enjoyed this video. Go ahead and click on the link below for the affiliate link for Beyond Pricing. I think you'll find it equally profitable as I do. I really recommend it. Ian was also a guest on our podcast. We'll include that link below. Check it out. Great stuff there. See you soon. Happy hosting.